Hello there, everybody. Hello. Let me see. Let me put some music on here. Uh, that's a private chat. What the hell am I doing here? All right. Somebody's calling me over here. Wait, whatever that means. All right, I'm live. Let me see. Do some acoustics. Do some acoustics here. I wanted this. Oh, look at that music. Man, I'm playing some music here. I don't see that's been copyrighted. I play all the songs somewhere else like copyright. This is coming right straight from whatever they come from. StreamYard. So I don't. Well, let me just take this out. All right, hey everybody, what's up? What's up? I got something going for you. And I know you read the title, say gentrification, but I want to see what Alexis know. What Alexa know. Alexa, Alexa, what does gentrification means?
Gentrification is usually defined as the buying and renovation of houses and stores in deteriorated urban neighborhoods by upper or middle income families or individuals, raising property values but often displacing low-income families and small businesses. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for gentrification.
Give me more information on that. Yeah, and it's true. And it's basically what it is buying and renovating houses and stores in deteriorating neighborhoods, which that means they take all the low income people and the poor people, push them out and put them somewhere else in another neighborhood. So all the big corporate people, such as corporate and high ends, who buys these houses, sells these houses for a higher price, so nobody can afford. Same with they raise taxes and everything else. So yes, so I'm gonna go into this thing here. I'm trying to see if I can log in into another scenery of gentrification. What it means. Just give me a minute. I had it up here, but jeez, don't worry about it. We got it. So anyway, welcome everybody. This is Raylo here, and I just wanted to give you that little topic here. I ain't gonna be here too long. I'm just gonna be here for a very short minimum of time. Um, and letting people know what I feel about it because I lived in New York City. I was born and raised in New York, Brooklyn, New York, and I see the property value start going up. Certain people start moving in and everything like that, and it was just crazy. It was more like um, okay. I mean, the neighborhood wasn't that great either. I mean, the neighborhood was run down, but it was home, and a lot of people was happy with it. But the crime was not as bad it was until now, until when they start refurbishing neighborhoods and start boosting up rents and pushing people who have been living there for over 50, 60 something years there, move them out, and they have no place to go, and which is a shame. And they wonder why crime is so high. I mean, crime was higher before, but it's more higher now than it was when before the gentrification came out. So, which yeah, it did. So obviously, it just boosted and it moved up. So I'm just going to get here real quick. No, yeah, well, I think I spelled it correctly, but I was going more into here gentrification as a process of a territories of poor urban, which the area is changed as wealthier people moving in. Yes, well, it's true. And the process of whereabout is the character of poor urban areas to change to wealthier people moving into improving housing, attracting new businesses, typically displacing current inhabited in the process. Yeah, which is true. And this is what I'm saying. It's just like they take all the poor people out, the people who's not barely making enough or income. I mean, you're just barely making it on a bologna sandwich, and next thing they just push you right out the door. And you think that it's going to improve the maybe improve the neighborhood, which you might be right. You might be improving the neighborhood, but obviously you're just bringing up more crime, and you wonder why the crime is more higher. The crime was there before, but it's got more intense now. If you look at the news, if you go to YouTube as you go check out New York City crimes and stuff, it's like off the chart. And the mayor and the governor talk about, oh well, we reduce crime, homicide. No, they didn't reduce crime. That's just a hidden gender. Because I know people who still live in New York City. I know people live in Brooklyn, and whatnot. They say it got more worse now than it was when before that gentrification came in. So, and there's another place. Okay, here's the pros and the cons of gentrification. A large numbers of mainly because of practice of the matters of cause of the effects, while the odds poor, newly gentrified neighborhoods is now in successful, financially stable, and low income families are typically forced to move out because they cannot afford the new cost of living. And that's true. The cost of living. I have people I grew up with can't afford to live in a renting. Well, because now the apartments and rents there are like 3 times more than what they was paying. Okay, I remember when I used to live there, when I got my first apartment, and this is like a long time ago. When I got my first apartments, I think I paid about one bed. I think I had a 2-bedroom apartment. I think I paid about, and this is a long time ago. I paid about at least $350 a month, and that was a long time ago. And you never think about New York, whatever, having rent that cheap. Well, it was because I had a great landlord. She was great until she passed away, and she, what you got to do. My father was the super there. So I had, the apartment I lived above. My father lived, my parents lived above. I lived below, and the rent was cheaper because my father was they tend to have. Oh, jeez. So anyway, yeah. So I'm sorry. So yeah. So it was somebody called me. They're gonna call me 4 in 1. But anyway, I know who the person is. I'll get back to him. But anyway, yeah. So like I was saying, well, the landlord I lived with was pretty, and my father was the super there, and and the rent was a lot cheaper because the rent and take care of the building and everything, the rent was cheap until I've been living there. I think I was living there for about a couple of years. Well, say around about. I think I lived there for about 7, 8 years there. My own apartment down there. My father was upstairs and I was downstairs, and until when the landlord passed away. That's when everything went down. Then the daughter took over. Then she was the big thing around. She lived in Manhattan. She lived in one of the Central Park housing, and so she couldn't afford to pay the rent, or her mother had. So what she did is, what has she done? She sold the building. So as we sold the building, that's when we had new tenants in, well, new landlords, snobby as hell. These are like preppy. Well, I could say they're preppy, and I am black, and preppy black. Moved in, all nonchalant and whatnot. Oh, blah 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 blah. They all about this. They all about that. They talk about, well, we have to move out, or if you do, we got to pay rent. And the rent went up from I think it was 500 at the time. It went from 500. She wanted to pay $1,200. I was like, what? Pay $1,200 for what? For this broken down old raggedy ass freaking house? You got to be at your damn mind. But anyway, it happened anyway. So regardless, um, so they were trying to find ways of moving out, and one of her husband came up and said about, "We're just gonna move in Brownsville." And Brownsville is like the worst neighborhood. Like what his right to tell me where the hell to move at? No, you can't tell me where to move at. I mean, that's my choice to move it. I try to say, let me stay for a while. And they try to negotiate with me, talk about, well, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $1,000 to move out. $1,000 ain't gonna help me to move out. $1,000 to move out in 2 weeks now. You gotta remember, I gotta prep for all my stuff. It's gonna take about at least about a week and a half to get the stuff out of my house. I got bunk beds, and that was the kids were living there, and and stuff like that, bunk beds and others. I didn't have too much, but I had enough to take about a day and a half to move stuff out, and it's gonna take me a while to find another place. And I think this is what they want. They just wanted to move you out. These old preppy ass landlords, which they had a beauty salon downstairs, which they made money, and they had interviews and stuff like that from the big local companies, like big local newses and everything. But realized after a while that they failed, and I found out about a couple of years later they couldn't afford to live there no more. Then they had to sell the house to someone else. Which what comes around goes around. I feel bad for them, hell with them. But by that time I moved down the block, so I had I had like a room there, so I stayed in the room for a while. So anyway, after I stayed in the room for a while after that, and moved on. But anyway, that was beside that. But anyway, let me move on to something else. I'm just drifting on. I'm sorry. I trying to keep it going. All right, so all right, here, okay, that was the pros and the cons. Okay, and here was something else here. Why the what's the definition of a gentrification? Okay, here's what the definition. It's the housing economic. I'm sorry. In the housing economics, the health issues which affects the community, histories of cultures reduce social capital. Which I know that is. It's often shift to neighborhoods characteristics as each example as racial ethics, composition, a household income by adding new stores and resources to previously run down neighborhoods. That's what the definition of gentrification means. Okay, so in other words, is take all the people who once lived in the neighborhood, who worked all their life, who sit there and trying to make ends meet and whatnot, and just push them out the neighborhood. And you wonder why crime is high. The hell it is. Hmm. You wonder why people breaking in stores and stealing stuff, and they try to make an honest living. Oh, I'm trying to make an honest living. I'm trying to make an honest living. What honest living are you making? You can't make an honest living if you live in a city, same as like Chicago. Okay, I'm not gonna say just New York, Chicago, same way. So they did the gentrification in Chicago too, and they didn't got no better because now they tore down the green houses, they tore them down, and they made them into what? They made it to like little cities and little housing condos to make it for more the rich people to live in, not to put people who was there all their life, who was born and raised and who was started from the 20s and worked their way up, and now this is the thanks they get. Oh, so what they saying? Maybe they should do more now is more re-educate people and help them get a place, in which they have programs for that, but it's not enough because you got to remember some people who've been there all their life, they have obviously had any experience and know how to do this or have any income. They should have their own lawyers or provide them with lawyers. I'm sorry, let me slow down a little bit because I'm just getting so upset about this because it's a really shame, which I moved out, but I mean, it's just a shame that these people who've been there, I know some people who've been there all their life down there, and they just push them out. They live in hotels. Some of them now is homeless. It's a shame. It's it's really a shame. I just, I don't know. I just, sometimes I get emotional about it because it's a shame that, I mean, even though I mean, I don't know. It's just that now that these companies that sit there and thinking that if they improve the neighborhood, it's just for well do, or they say they use it for social capital, so that all the rich people or the people who are got good income move in and move all the people out. Because here's the reason is why the rundown neighborhoods the way they were. Because there was no income. They had bad mayors or bad governors that sit there and talk about, oh, we're going to improve the neighborhood, didn't have the funds to improve the neighborhood for the people who had low income. What they do is they just run it through, decide, oh, jeez. Okay. They rather decide to get rid of the company. I mean, not get rid of the company. I'm sorry. I just got distracted. They rather decide just to move all the people out and rebuild the neighborhood. But you can still rebuild the neighborhood with good people. This only difference is that doing to remodel the neighborhood, you got to remodel the people, put them into a lot of these what do you call these meetings they have, these community meetings and whatnot, and talk to them and get more involved with the community. And when they get involved with the community, could help a lot more, helping them out how to improve the neighborhood, which they did have, but because of the crime and whatnot, maybe they should have put more money in funding the neighborhood, but which they don't want to do that. So they had these big corporate people say, well, we can get them out the neighborhood. The best way we're getting them out the neighborhood is to buy all these houses out, go up on, well, this is how they would do it, because this is when they found out, because the property value went up. They couldn't afford to live there anymore. The prices of stores moved in. They couldn't afford to have food. So people just gave up and said, you know what the hell with it. I'm getting out. I'm moving out to another neighborhood. I'll move out to another city, another state. Same thing I did. I did the same thing too. I moved out, picked up and moved out to another neighborhood. I'm not another neighborhood, another town, which I moved to Minnesota. But I mean, the cost of living is getting higher here too. Because now they started doing the same thing, the gentrification. They doing the gentrification. They doing it here too. Because I know now they're putting condos up here and luxury houses. So what the hell else I got to move? I got to move up to the next one. I don't know. My job is good, but I'm not gonna pay all them prices. They don't even. They don't. Where I live, I don't even have a damn supermarket. I got to go walk about. I got to go like a mile and a half, 2 miles to get to a supermarket. The best ones anywhere, like Walmart. Walmart's like 5 miles away from here. Targets here, it's like Targets are like maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles is like a 20, 30 minute ride. Might be less than that. But anyway, but it's just the idea. So I'm going trying to figure out how to put pictures down here. I got some pictures I'm downloading, and I'm gonna show you how this gentrifying thing, gentrification, gen can't how to say it? Gentrification, gentrification, whatever they call it. The process of changing the characters of the neighborhood throughout the influx of more than influx residents and businesses. The common of controversial topic is the urban political planning of gentrification, which increases the economic values. The neighborhood the results of demographic displace or any other because of social issues. Gentrification is often to see as a shift of neighborhood, racial, and ethnic composition, which is the average of household income. Housing business becomes more expensive, which is true, and the resources has previously accessible are extended and improved. Yeah, but when they improved, but what they improved the neighborhood, they didn't improve the net. What happened? I mean, why the crime is up? Why they have just let's go on there. Go to that Fox Five. Go to Fox, not Fox Five of New York, or go to other than Chicago and everything. And when they did that gentrification thing, you could see the difference is that they improved the neighborhood, but the crime is even 3 times higher. Then just look at the statistics of when the crime was high between that year. Then the gentrification went up a little higher and higher, higher. So you can see it from there. So anyway, as I was still going, the gentrification process that typically results in increasing attraction to the area to people for higher income spilling over the neighborhood, which cities and neighborhoods further step increases investments, which that's true. And a community that is really infrastructure in which real estate development, businesses, local government, and community activists is resulting economic development. Increases the attractions of businesses and displace of okay, I gotta call this person. An extreme gentrification is brought up to the prosperity bomb. Prosperity bomb. I guess that means that some words it got worse. However, some of the fears of displacement dominated the debate of the gentrification, which hinders hindering discussions such as genuine progressive approaches and disputes of benefits and urban development strategies. See, that's something we got to look at. We got to look it up to Wikipedia and how these gentrification works, and they're not all working well. And that, trust me, I lived in New York. I see apartments that when they changed the value of the houses and everything, it was got more worse than what it was now, and they say, well, we beautified the neighborhood, but the crime is still there. Why is the crime still there? That'll be on my next topic. Why the crime is still high the way it is. I got a few people who will be coming on my next show. Will tell me, tell y'all, everyone about the show about why the crime is so high. So I got a few. Just stand by and just hit that notification, like, subscribe, and notification. And when the next one comes up, I'm not going to do too many live shows. I'm just going to basically, I'm just doing live right now. I'm just getting the practice of it, but I'm going to do mostly tape shows. So that's what it is. So anyway, if you want to check out more of the gentrification, just look it up and you'll see what it's about in the misplacement. And they have a lot of things here. It speaks about the effects of the Now, before I leave here, here's what I read about the negative. Okay, here's the positive they would say: reduction of crime, which falls. No, it's not reduction of crime. It's a reduction of crime, but the crime's still there. Reduces the strain of local infrastructures of services. Increase consumer purchasing power of local business. How can you do that if you can't barely afford to live down there if prices are too damn high? Reduce vacancy rates. Yeah, well, if you got the money, yeah, reduce vacancy rates. Let me see. So that means that you pay rent from $700 to $2,000, $5,000. Yeah, sure, right. Right. Yeah, okay, that sounds okay. Increase social mix. Yeah, okay, whatever. Increase social, financial, fiscal revenue. Yeah, which it does for the rich, not for the poor. Increase property value. Yep, that's true. It does increase the property value. Too damn much. Encourage and increase feasibility for further development. Yeah, well, yeah, whatever. Higher incentive, which properties owners increase and improve housing. No, improve housing. Yeah, for the rich, of course. No, not for not for the people who have low income. No, it doesn't work for them. Rehabilitate properties which without state sponsorship. Yeah, for the rich. Here's the negative part about it all. Okay, here's the negative part. Increase the cost of changes in the local services. Yes, yeah. Communities reinvestment and conflicts. Yep. Homelessness. Oh yeah, big time homelessness. Yes, I'm gonna talk that on my next topic. Loss of attribute housing, affordable housing. I'm sorry, loss of affordable housing. Yes, well, there ain't no affordable houses in New York. Let's live in a box. Displacement through rent and price increase. Yes, it just displays rent increase. Definitely for sure. Because rent it increases so much they can't afford to live there. And look at the minimum wage jobs there. It's not enough to even do. You got to need 3 jobs just to make it on your own income, unless you have a degree and have jobs down there doing it's only paid that much. I have a degree and I don't even get paid that much. Let's see, what is a commercial industrial displacement? Yep, it does that. Unstable property prices. Yes, that's very unstable. Displacement of housing demands pressure on surrounding poor areas. Yep, they'll push you out. They'll go to court. They'll get agreement and get one of these papers stating that you got to leave the property. If you don't leave the property in 30 days, they'll come in, assessment will come in, and they take all your stuff away. And I heard about that. Secondary psychological cost and displacement. Yep. Loss of social diversity from social despairs of rich ghettos. Yep. Under occupancy and population loss in gentrification areas. Yep. Don't worry about it. On all your cities in New York, y'all got it now. Enjoy it while you got it, because once that neighborhood go down and crime increases, your property value will go down so low. Even the mayor, even the governor couldn't even control it no more. But I'll tell you, you'll see from there. But I'll be on my next broadcast. I got some things I got to do. It's 4 in the damn morning, and I'm tired. I don't know why I'm up so damn late. I got to get my brains together so I can do other things, even though I'm talking fast. But yeah, that's just what happens. All right, people, enjoy. Have a good one. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Will be all the 4 things you can do for me, and I appreciate it very much. And I'll catch you on my next one. And I'll talk to you later. Stay